He knew the Beatles, started his radio career by standing in for Kenny Everett, and is still a firm favourite on BBC Radio Merseyside. Billy Butler broadcasts for 6 days a week, and next year he celebrates 40 years in the business. Later on this year, a book about his career is being published, so I went along to meet him to find out what makes him tick.
Billy Butler.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
It's Mrs. Butler's eldest with you now through until 5 o'clock. And on the show today, there's a young lady came in to see me about 18 months ago.
Radio presenter Billy Butler is approaching 40 years in show business. His legendary radio quiz show, Hold Your Plums, was a Scouse institution. Every weekday afternoon and every Saturday morning, he still broadcasts from BBC Radio Merseyside. He's also enjoyed a successful TV career. So what's the secret of his longevity? A contemporary of the Beatles, Billy was a regular face on our television screens in the early 60s. Here at his home in Wirral, he showed me an early appearance.
So when would this have been, Bill?
1962 that was. There was 2 old Merseyside shows. That was the first one. All the acts on were from Merseyside.
Thank Your Lucky Stars was on ITV between 1961 and 66 and presented by Brian Matthew. Billy took part in the famous spinner disc section, where a panel marked records out of 5.
There you are.
Yeah, it wasn't like it.
Look at that Beatle haircut.
Not changed at all, have I?
I'm saying nothing. Unless it's my eyesight, I'm not sure.
I was on 30 times overall, but I never knew when I finished recording on the Sunday if I was on the next week. I got a letter on Wednesday saying you're on again. George Harrison once said to me in a cavern band room, he said to me, Billy, can you mention the Beatles on Thank You Lucky Stars?
Really?
I said, oh, can't I get in trouble?
Don't look around as you walk away.
I started working at the Cavern then in early '64, doing 5 lunchtimes and 6 evenings and an all-night session a week for, I think it was something like £3 a day, which wasn't bad because I was getting £2 a week at my job, so I was rich.
And then did you move on to the radio after that?
Yeah, the Cavern closed down eventually, and I stayed there and I worked in all the clubs in Wigan and Warrington and St Helens. I was very into Northern Soul at the time. And I was working at the Mardi Gras, and Tony Wolfe, a BBC producer, said Kenny Everett's he was doing the Saturday morning show for Merseyside. He's on holiday for 6 weeks. Would you like to do Saturday mornings? So I did Saturday mornings for 6 weeks. And Radio Merseyside found out they were getting more mail for me than they'd had for anyone else. Now, they didn't like me. They thought I was much too common for the radio. But they thought, well, we'll wait till the listeners get fed up with him.
They're not got fed up with you yet, then, have they?
No, well, I hope not.
Do you know what's nice when you come into work at Radio Merseyside and you're given something like this? The lady stopped me as I came in. She gave us a tin of biscuits for the staff and she gave me this to read out. And it's called Ode to Radio Merseyside.
Billy's famous radio quiz, Hold Your Plums, ran for over a decade on BBC Radio Merseyside until the mid-90s. Co-hosted by Wally Scott, it won a Sony Bronze Award. It was so successful, it was even released on video.
What kind of a wheel do you think of on November the 5th,
Is it a
Eileen?
plan wheel?
What?
Is it a plan wheel?
A pram wheel?
Basically, it was manipulating the callers, it was giving them clues which most people would understand and they didn't, and then taking that clue and stretching the credibility of it as far as you could. And luckily in this area we have got people, you know, people say those people on your plums are thick. They're not thick, you know. I mean, they come up with, the thing about Liverpool people, they come up with answers. It might not be the right answer, it might be a stupid answer, but at least there's an answer.
Quasimodo rode on one.
A donkey.
You've got
The anarchic radio quiz featured many memorable moments. Billy's question to this caller was, what was Hitler's first name? He tried to help her.
What do you call them things that swim around, Lil? And they're very friendly, and they have them all in aquariums. They got little holes in the top of their head, and they squirt water out of them, and they play with everyone. Very friendly fish. Flipper was one, love.
Oh?
Flipper. Remember Flipper?
Well, is it Auntie Dolphin?
Yes! So Flipper was
A dolphin.
a dolphin.
Yeah, so what was Hitler's Christian name?
Flipper.
Hold Your Plums was loved by its audience in the North West and celebrities, including Peter Kay and Cilla Black. even meriting a mention on Wogan.
You know, I mean, this guy gives clues as well. He does when he can. There's another one. It was, let me think now. Can you name a famous American cowboy? Now, the clue is they used to call him Duke. R.A. Billy, R.A. Billy, gives a clue, gives a clue. And he said, the hell I will. The reply came, R.A. Billy, that's not fair, you give everybody else a clue.
All between now and 5 with Mrs. Butler's eldest here on BBC Radio Merseyside on the Billy Butler Show.
So what we've got up here then, Bill?
Everything, Andy. Everything.
I can see that.
You name it, I might have it.
When Billy's not entertaining thousands of listeners, you're likely to see him at your local car boot sale. He's an avid collector of records, comics, old TV shows, and, well, everything, really. He showed me some of his collection.
I should say, what haven't you got in here? What sort of things are you collecting here? Records, all sorts?
All them boxes, mainly McDonald's toys.
Right.
Because I thought to myself, McDonald's are going to be collectibles soon. That was about 1970. So I bought as many McDonald's toys as possible.
So you're still waiting for that one?
I'm waiting for this to become collectible, yeah. But it's great because in my job, you're always looking for new ideas. And if I can potter about here any day for an hour or so, and I'm bound to come up with something.
During a very successful TV career, Billy presented several hit shows.
Good afternoon.
With Bill Oddie, Debbie Ricks, and Mr. Trivia, Billy Butler.
What a fine figure of a man. And then I noticed one or two wrinkles on the previously unblemished Butler features. Now, this would worry some people, but not me. Knowing Cliff Richard keeps someone to see me each week for the secret of my eternal youth. I'll stop now in case the viewers are feeling tired, though I feel perfectly okay.
Peter Grant is co-writing a biography of Billy, which will be published later this year.
Where do you start with 288 pages, the life of Mrs. Butler's eldest? It's going to be what to leave out. I think his consistency of hitting that nerve with people. When Ringo Starr came to Liverpool to open Capital Culture, Billy interviewed him on the phone because Billy was a former Cavern DJ, so he knew all the Beatles. And he said, oh, great Ringo, great you coming to Liverpool and all that. And then when Ringo said what he said about Liverpool on the Jonathan Ross show, the next day, Billy just went for it and said, you know, oh, come on, you know, you've really upset the people of Liverpool, you were wrong. So he's clear, he's clearly focused. He sticks up for Liverpool.
Comedy legend Ken Dodd has known Billy for many, many years.
He knows who's the boss, the customers, the listeners, the viewers. He's very, very mindful of his audience. He's a great, great communicator. And yes, very nice chap.
I mean, he's like you in that respect, isn't he? You value so much your audience, and he does as well.
Yeah,
and he broadcasts as though he's broadcasting to one person, very personally.
Yeah, well, if you didn't have an audience, you'd be talking to yourself, and they'd put you away. Mind you, I think it's time he was put away. But no, he's a very nice chap, good lad.
Why do you think?
There's one thing. I think he's an Everton supporter. But then, you know, in life, everybody has a pebble in their shoe, and that's his.
Alan Williams, the man who first signed the Beatles and then told them that they'd never get anywhere, but he's recovered from it. Alan Williams is 80 on February the 21st.
Why do you think you've lasted in what is a notoriously fickle world of show business?
It's judging what your audience wants, and if things are changing, trying to change with it. But always trying to make people believe you are you, that you're not trying to be anyone else.
He's managed to last for 40 years in broadcasting, which is quite an achievement.
I think he's good for a few more minutes, yeah. Yes, if he looks after himself and takes his vitamins and does what Mrs. Butler tells him, yes, I think he's all right, yeah.
The main thing about it, Andy, it's been fun. It's fun, and it's still fun. You know, that's the outlook you've got to have. You know, you've got to enjoy it. People spot if you don't enjoy it. And I really do still enjoy it.